The New York Knicks, Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau, Brock Aller, Gerson Rosas, and Worldwide Wes. They all know that the New York Knicks need to trade for a center if they want to go try to put a banner up at MSG. We've got 7 centers that I think the Knicks could look to target in a trade this upcoming season. We'll break that down coming up in a second, but I want to hear from all the real ones that are locked in to today's show. Do you think the Knicks even need to trade for a center? Or should they just rock out with Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, Jericho Sims, and Ariel Hukporti? Lock your answer in right now. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. 7 centers that the New York Knicks could trade for. Look, if you could turn injuries off and you can guarantee me that Mitchell Robinson is going to be healthy and available to play for the entire 2025 playoffs, then I would say the Knicks don't need to trade for a center because Robinson's a good player. And I can rock with Precious Achiuwa being my backup center. And I can deal with Jericho Sims being the third center. Robinson is one of the best rim protectors and one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. If you tell me he's healthy and you can guarantee me that he's healthy, I don't think the Knicks need to make a trade. Because I like Achiuwa as the backup 5, and he gives you versatility to where he could play some 4. He could play some 5-4 role action next to Julius Randle. And I like Jericho Sims as that third center. But I don't think anyone can guarantee me that Mitchell Robinson's going to be ready to go for the playoffs. The guy's played more than 60 games one time in the last 4 seasons. That's a major concern for me. The Knicks need to go out and make a move for a center. Because if they don't, and their center rotation following the trade deadline is Robinson, Achiuwa, and Jericho Sims, you are a Mitchell Robinson injury away from Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims having to play big-time minutes in the playoffs. And I don't think that is a recipe to put a banner in the rafters at the world's most famous arena. Call me a hater, whatever. I just don't think that's enough to get it done to get some of the best teams in the NBA. So how can they go out and improve that team? Suck 7 players they can look to trade for. We've heard for a while that the New York Knicks have the liking for Jalen Duren. We heard this summer that the Knicks checked in on Jaylen Duren, and I think if the Knicks are going to make a trade for a center, doing one that's for a guy that's 20 years old and has elite upside, and right now a ceiling that we don't know where he is as a player, I like it because I think Jalen Duren could potentially be the center of the future for the New York Knicks. Look, he's come into the NBA and he has showed that he belongs. He's super athletic. He's a lob threat. But the thing that I love about him the most is he improved as a player drastically from year 1 to year 2. That tells me he put the work in. That tells me he's going to continue to get better and better. That tells me that he loves the game of basketball. And when you couple that with the fact that he's 7 foot and that he has elite athleticism, you're going to be in a good spot. And I know it's Detroit and they didn't win many games last year and it's easy to compile stats on a bad team. But shit, at 20 years old in his second year in the league, he's giving you 14 and 12 with a block per night and 3 offensive boards. You roll out a starting lineup at Jalen Duren, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. That's one of the best lineups in the league. And that's a lineup that you could build around for the next 4, 5, 6 NBA seasons. Another player that I think could be on the horizon as a trade target for the Knicks at that center position is Kevon Looney. If you were watching this channel during the summer, Kevon Looney was someone I would have liked to see the Knicks pursue an NBA free agency. Thing is, Looney never got there. The Warriors, they picked up that team option, I believe, for about $8 million. And I still think he is someone they could look to trade. At 28 years old, still a lot of tread left on the tires, a little bit undersized, but what he lacks in the height department, he brings in the heart department. And this is a guy you're not going to have to trade a lot for. This is a guy that you could throw in a playoff series and be a spot starter and do what you need him to do. Defend and attack the glass. Kevon Looney is one of the better rebounders in the NBA. He's got a lot of playoff experience. I believe a multi-time NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors. So he brings leadership, winning attitude, and a guy that's going to give you all grit, all grind, all the time. He's going to do the dirty work. And all you need out of a center for the Knicks right now, if you're going to have Mitchell Robinson be hurt, is attack the glass, play some defense. And Kevon Looney, he could do that. He even said he wants to shoot some threes this year. I don't know about all that, though. Another player that I think could be on the market when it comes to trade targets is veteran Steven Adams. And I'm not pushing for the Knicks to go out and trade for any of these guys. I'm just reading the room, and I'm looking across the NBA, and I'm talking about guys that I think could be on the move. And I think 31-year-old Steven Adams could be that guy. He missed the entire 2023-2024 season with a knee injury. But when you look at where the Rockets are and where Steven Adams is at his career, he's a prime trade candidate, a guy that they can move off of. Adams would give you heart. He'd give you size. He'd give you strength. He'd give you toughness. And he'd give you a player that would just bring some brute force to this team. He's going to rebound the hell out of the ball. He's going to protect the rim. He's going to play the passing lanes. Not going to give you much on offense. Plays out of that dunker spot. He's got that little hook shot. But if you're looking for a guy to come in and give you toughness, strength, size, and a veteran, I don't hate it. And I don't think you'd have to give up too much. Another player that I think could be on the move this year is Robert Williams. We've talked about him a couple of different times throughout the past couple of weeks on this channel. Look, like Robinson, if you can guarantee me that Robert Williams is going to be healthy, yes, I'm going to go make a trade for him. This is a guy that finished top 10 and Defensive Player of the Year back in 2021, 2022. He was second team all defense in that season. He is an elite defender, but he's also a guy that lives on the injury report. He has not played more than 65 games in an NBA season throughout his career, which is really the only reason, and really the only reason I need to have as to why I don't want to go trade for him. Look, if you promise me he's healthy, then yeah, I'll go do it, because you're getting one of the best switch defenders in the league. You're getting a guy that's been a second-team all-defense, and he's been an anchor to a team that I believe 2021, 2022, Smitty, got to the finals. But, man, best ability sometimes is availability. And Robert Williams, he definitely lacks that. I love him as a player, all the way dating back to his days at Texas A&M. Kind of gave me Draymond Green vibes in that sense on defense. But if you can't play, I don't want you on this team. It's really tricky when you're talking about injured players. You got to roll the dice. Sometimes you got to hit. Will Leon Rose do it? I don't know. We've got more center trade targets in a second. But first, if you're looking for last-minute tickets to an NFL game this year, you want to go see your favorite band, concert, theater event, or stand-up comedian, or maybe you want to go to an NFL game, get your tickets at Game Time. Get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Prices actually drop as the events get closer. So if you are a procrastinator like I am, Game Time is the ticketing app for you. I've used all the ticketing apps. None of them are as good as Game Time. It's easy to use, and I think we can all agree, it's cool when you save money and you get to do what you want to do. And Game Time, they do that because you get last-minute tickets. The app will alert you when a flash deal is going on, and they make sure you get the lowest price guaranteed. And if you use our promo code, Chat Sports, you're going to get another $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. And if you use that all-in pricing feature, the price you see is the price you pay. And the Game Time picks, when you're downloading the app and after you create an account, you get to personalize the app with your favorite teams, your favorite bands, your favorite artists, your favorite comedians, and Game Time picks will filter out all the other stuff and make it very easy for you to buy tickets to go watch your favorite people do what they do. Knicks games, Giants games, Yankees games, Mets games, concerts, theater events, and so much more. Download the app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, and get $20 off your first purchase. What time is it? It is game time. Support the show, support the sponsor, be a real one. A player that a lot of Knicks fans have seemed to fallen in love with is Nick Richards. And I'm not going to come up here and say Nick Richards is a bad basketball player, but I'm also not going to come up here and say that if you trade for Nick Richards, you're going to win the NBA Finals like a lot of people think. You could win it if you trade for him, but he's not the needle mover for me. Look, 26 years old, solid player, but at the end of the day, like, much better does Nick Richards make you? I like the insurance he brings. I like the fact that he gives you another player that you can lean on if Mitchell Robinson gets hurt. But I just think there's better players that the Knicks can go out and get. Richards, prototypical center, not going to operate too much outside of the dunker spot on offense. Can protect the rim at a solid level, 1.1 blocks per game over the last 2 years. Got a really high field goal percentage because he doesn't really do much. Solid player. I wouldn't hate it, but I'm not giving up any assets or anything of real value to go out and get a deal done for Mr. Richards. Dwight Powell is another center that I think could be on the move this year. Seems like the time is ticking on him being a Dallas Maverick. And we can keep this one here pretty quick. I have no interest in trading for Dwight Powell. As I do live in Dallas, Texas, I've gotten to watch a lot of Dallas Mavericks basketball, and I'm just not moved by Dwight Powell. I'm not sure exactly what he does well except for play really hard, and that may be something that Tom Thibodeau loves. That is something that Tom Thibodeau loves. But for me, like Nick Richards, I'm not giving up anything of value for Dwight Powell, the 33-year-old center. Goga Bitdaze is another name that I think could be on the move. I know that he just re-signed with the Orlando Magic, but with the way that the Orlando Magic have stacked the deck at that center position, he could be on the move. They're paying Wendell Carter. They just gave Wagner a big deal, and they gave Bitdaze a solid deal as well, and they have more than $32 million this year tied up in the center position. And I'm just not sure if that's the best way to run a basketball team in 2024-2025. I love Goga Bitdaze, man. He was the guy that I was pushing for the Knicks to get on the veteran, the taxpayer mid-level exception. I'm not saying he's Isaiah Hartenstein, but he possesses some of the skills that he does. An underrated playmaker. Grit, grind, nice little touch around the rim, and he's super strong, super physical, and you feel his presence on the court. I'm not sure what it would cost to get him in a trade, but he signed a deal for around $9 million. So I think the Magic would want something of value back, maybe a Chua, and you throw in a guy like Keita Bates-Diop, and you add a handful of second-round picks. Bitdaze is definitely someone that I would like to see the Knicks go after as a backup big. Another name to monitor is Jonas Valanciunas. He can't be traded until mid-December because he did leave the New Orleans Pelicans to go join the Washington Wizards. He makes about $9.9 million this year. Valanciunas is high on my list of center trade targets. I love the combination of Robinson and Valanciunas as my two centers because it gives you lineup versatility. You want to play defense, you want to play big, you want to rebound, throw out Mitch. You want to play an offensive style of game. You want to throw out a big who can stretch the floor a little bit, be a threat with his back to the basket, has a little push shot, can operate then more on offense than just dunker spot. Jonas Valanciunas is really good for that. So I wouldn't mind. And I actually think Jonas Valanciunas, of all the players we talked about, is closer to the top of the list than a couple of these other guys. I'm not saying that I want to trade for all of these guys. I'm just looking across the NBA, and I found 8 players that the Knicks could potentially monitor. Name a center you want the Knicks to trade for, putting you on the spot. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG, @MarshallGreen_. Both handle on both. Hit me up over there, and let's talk some New York Knicks.